Welcome back, everyone, to the American Sports Connection. I'm your host, the one and only Joey Railroads. Now, before I bring my guest in for today, don't forget to check us out on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at ASC Pods. I thought it was so nice having this guy on the first time. I figured I'd do it again. My guest for tonight, you know him from the Spotlight series, but tonight we're going to talk about some ICW No Holds Barred. It's happening this weekend. You guys know him as the Struggles. What's up, Struggles? How are you?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me back on. We had fun the first time, and now with Deathmatch Circus coming up this weekend, we felt it was only right to break it all down for everybody.
Yeah, I figured it'd be nice to do it the right way and show some podcasters how to do it.
Yeah, I'm all for that.
I just because I had people say, "Why did you tweet and post what you did?" I said, "Well, you have to. There's a certain way you have to do that to help somebody out if you're going to have them on your show."
Yeah, of course.
But
You
good. I'm
you
sorry.
do things the right way, and I always have a good time listening to your show, and it's always a good time being a part of it. So you want to talk ICW No Holds Barred? If you're not talking to Danny D'Amonto, then you can talk to me. So that's basically how it's gonna go.
I figured I would catch you better than Danny because he's a busy guy.
He's the most busy. Yeah, he is. So that's where I get to step up and we can talk and answer and talk about anything dealing with these shows. We're excited. Obviously stressful situation putting everything together, but I'm excited for the weekend.
Yeah, well, you mentioned about Danny. I might as well get into it. He's not going to hear this probably till later tonight, which is Wednesday or tomorrow, Thursday. But happy birthday, by the way, Danny.
Sir, happy birthday.
And
He
this was just posted 2 hours ago on social media that apparently he's going to have a birthday bash this Friday night after No Holds Barred 4.
Yes, that is the plan is to have a Danny D'Amonto birthday celebration that goes down at whenever the fuck o'clock he wants. So I know I know that just might be past my bedtime, and I might be back in my hotel room asleep at whenever the fuck o'clock. So
Hey, we're starting to get older here.
exactly. I think I don't know. He's a few months older than me, but he gets after it still. So more power to him. Go ahead, do your thing. I got to call two back-to-back 3-hour wrestling shows, so I will be asleep, resting my voice, so I can go and yell the next day.
I was going to say you should have when you check into the hotel a request to have like some green tea or something for the morning.
Gonna need some help because the last two shows we did volume 2 in Atlantic City and then volume 3 the next weekend, 4th of July, in Millville, the same place where we'll be at this coming weekend. My voice was shot for whatever reason at volume 2. You could hear me struggling. If we were at one more match longer, I would have been out of it. So I don't know where. I was probably just really excited to be back at a wrestling show and really excited to be back on commentary. So my voice was hooked. But I think that the next week I was able to pay more attention and conserve my words so that when it was time to do the show, you're hanging out. We get to the venue or, wherever we're at 10, 11 o'clock in the morning to set up. And, you're yelling back and forth at each other. You're talking to everybody. I'm not thinking about that. Then all of a sudden it's time, 8 o'clock rolls around and it's like, man, I got to talk confidently and loudly and project for the next few hours. Yeah, volume 2, not my best performance, but I learned from it. In volume 3, definitely much better, and I gotta keep that same mindset for these two shows coming up.
Yeah, man, it's about pacing yourself, really.
It is. It really is.
Now, I don't know if you know this. There's a birthday wish list that Danny has asked for.
Jesus, I do not know this. What is this?
On ICW social media, if you want to see this, and he actually quote tweeted it on my original tweet about you coming on. He said, "My wish list is light tubes, barbed wire, thumbtack bats, gusset plates, and the like."
Great. Just great. Oh, man. See, there's a balance here at ICW NHB is that Danny gets everything done and just is laser focused and always doing a million different things. And it's my job to worry about all of those things. So when it comes to crazy weapons and all this stuff, and people want to jump off things, I'm just like, you can hear me on commentary just be a little uncomfortable with certain things because I worry about these guys. I worry about the company and just want to make sure we're keeping it safe as possible. Don't get me wrong, it's fucking death matches. Don't get me wrong, we're a fight company. You know, this isn't a sports entertainment. We're about fights. I want to see fights. I want to see people get their hand raised because they earned it, but I do want to see make sure we put a safe foot forward in some of these aspects.
No, I know what you mean. You want to bring the violence, but you want to do it in a safe way.
Yeah, because you see people getting hurt. I mean, sadly, big part of the stressful planning in this whole weekend is people getting injured, and death match wrestlers, they tend to get injured because they put themselves in very dangerous, precarious situations. You look at someone like Orin Veidt, who was supposed to have a really big weekend for us. He was going to wrestle Alex Ocean, then he was going to wrestle Akira, and it was going to be two really big fights for us. And he goes and gets hurt at King of the Death at IWA Mid South against Jimmy Lloyd.
Yeah, and
And
he's got that big chunk out of his arm.
yeah, so once we heard the details on that, it was just a no brainer that he couldn't go. You know, him telling us it wasn't just your normal kind of stitches. It was a 2-layer kind of stitch job where
Ooh,
they stitch under the skin and then over top. Then you're in a position where if the stitches under the skin open up, you're looking at internal bleeding. Like it's just not a smart. So once we heard that, we were like, dude, you're out. And he was so upset and like, unhappy, but you got to understand that there are going to be other shows. You're going to be brought in as soon as possible. We just don't need to take that risk right now. You look at somebody like Nick Gage. He got hurt at Beyond Wrestling in Atlantic City a couple weekends ago, and from what I'm being told, it's just he's not going to be around for a little while. He's got some stuff going on with his leg, ankle, calf area, and it's just we got to roll with the punches. It's hard to replace or invite is one thing. To replace the king, the god, the man, Nick fucking Gage, that's a little different.
absolutely.
But
That's a big
we did it.
loss. Now, before I forget, everybody
Yeah.
that's listening to Danny's birthday bash, you actually have to purchase tickets.
Do you?
Yes,
Fuck.
that's what it
I'm
says
pretty.
on your site.
Let me see. That sounds like
It
craziness.
says, as I'm reading it right off of Facebook, tickets at thewrestlinguniverse.com.
Yeah, this is all right for anybody listening. You only have to buy a GA ticket to Volume 4, and you can hang out for the party after. So as long as you have a ticket to the show, you're in.
Thanks
You
for
know?
clarifying.
No, I was about to say, is Danny hustling people right now? What a corny move right there for the Deathmatch Circus. But no, to clarify, as long as you got a ticket to Volume 4, you can hang out. I won't be there, but you can hang out and get rowdy with Danny. But yeah, no, you don't need a ticket for his fucking birthday. Get out of here.
Yeah, because that's what it says on here. Tickets will be available until Thursday at 8 p.m.
Yeah, it's yeah. Tickets to, as long as you got a ticket to the actual event, you get into that.
Yeah, that's refreshing to know because I was like you
It's
just
a
said,
hustle.
is Danny trying to do a side hustle?
Yeah, yeah. No, keep it moving. Who cares about Danny DeMonto's fucking birthday?
I'm sure he'll love hearing that.
I'm sure he will. I'm sure we'll talk about it. Great.
Now, let's go to, since we're talking about Volume 4. Well,
Yeah,
after Volume 4, we might as well get into the matches here and get your thoughts on them.
sure, sure.
All right, first here, I'm just going to go straight down the list. We have Eddie Only, who's very popular in this neck of the woods, versus versus Eric Ryan.
Yeah. Um, this is a crazy kind of fight here. I mean, both of them are part of that 440 stable out of Ohio with Ricky St. Page, Atticus Cogar, Gregory Iron. So they're in a group together. They're boys. But basically, it's kind of one of these situations, you and your friends hang out, you have a couple drinks, and you're kind of like, yo, I'm tougher than you, especially these deathmatch guys where it's a lot about pride. It's a lot about, who's better than who. So basically, it was like, I'm fucking better than you. Let's break these beer bottles and put them on their hands and do a little Taipei deathmatch. So when we heard that's what they wanted to do, we were like, go for it. Let these Ohio motherfuckers kill each other. Because New Jersey, New York, tri-state, we don't give a fuck about Ohio. So go ahead, do what you got to do, and it's gonna be awesome, though. I mean, Eric Ryan, fresh off of winning IWA Mid South King of the Death match, so he's on a fucking roll. Last time at No Holds Barred, he got the big win over Alex Ocean. At Volume 1, he got a big win over John Wayne Murdoch. Obviously, Volume 2 took a loss to Alice Colon, but he's still in the positive here. He's definitely a big time contender to being a top guy here at NHB, and I'm very very interested to see how this plays out. Especially Eddie Only is just came off a win against Tim Donst. He's on the fast track.
The irony here is, Struggles, that match, the Taipei Death match, was, I think, the first hardcore type match I saw growing up.
It's awesome.
I
It's
remember
great.
it was the Bad Breed, Axel and
Yep.
Ian.
Yes, sir.
I
I mean, that was the first time I heard of it, and I was like blown away. And I can't even remember seeing too many of them throughout the years. It's kind of just this match that pops up every once in a while, and it's really, I mean, it just kind of clicks with somebody. Like my wife asked me, "What's a Taipei death match?" And I said, they tape their hands, they put some sort of adhesive, whether it's glue or whatever, and then they dip them in broken glass, their fists. And she's like, "Why?" And I'm just like, "I don't know why, but everybody can kind of understand that broken shards of beer bottle when pressed into your face is gonna leave a mark. So it's crazy but relatable in a sense.
absolutely. All right,
But
next, this guy, Struggles, I think, is super underrated in my opinion. Is Reed Bentley going up against Dale Patricks?
I mean, I don't think people understand how Reed Bentley is one of the smartest people I've ever met. He is just incredibly articulate and so smart and so creative and innovative. And the match that he had with Akira, yes, Akira became a star at Volume 2, but it had a lot to do with how good Reed Bentley is. And for him to come back, we're super excited because he wasn't available to be on the 4th of July show. Otherwise, he would have been there. But the moment that he was available to jump back in between the chains at NHB, we're like, we need to make it happen. And Dale's another guy who's been around for a very long time, Midwest guy. You see him pop up in IWA Mid South. He was just in King of the Death. You see him at like Lords of Anarchy and BOW and a bunch of different other places. I believe he's been in like a Tournament of Death before, but he's like one of these guys who kind of flies under the radar. But I do think that on a big stage like NHB with a lot of people watching, that him and Reed can do something pretty fantastic. So that's a kind of a dark horse match for me right there. I think it could be something special.
I do too. Let's see if Reed can get on Barstool Sports again.
Well, I'm sure he'll try.
That I don't know if you did you see that they took the clip from the match with Akira and had it on there.
Oh, we saw it, man. We did. I just remember the next day texting Akira, and I'm like, "Yo, you're on Barstool," and he's like, "I know, this is crazy," and it's just like millions of views, and I'm just like, "This is so insane." But I remember that day I met Akira when we were in Atlantic City for Volume 2, and he saw that little roof, and he was like, I could jump. I'm gonna jump off that. And I'm like, no, you're not. You're not jumping off that. And he walked up there, he climbed right up, stood up there. Then Reed's wheel starts spinning, and he's like, okay, we could do this and this. Because originally they wanted to do something. I mean, maybe I'll just put it all out there. They want to do like something tandem off there, not quite Joey Janela Zandig esque, it's way lower, but they want to do something tandem off there, and then you start seeing these guys' creativity really work, and it ended up being what it was, and it looked like $1,000,000. Everything about it, just the ambiance and atmosphere, the background of lit up Atlantic City, it was just kind of like a perfect storm, and Akira brought every ounce of the fight, man. He became a star that night, and a lot of people are starting to see it.
I couldn't agree more. All right, next we have Tony Deppen going up against our buddy, good old Manser.
Man, this is this sticks out as a completely different fight than anything that's going on really the whole weekend. You know, it's a lot of death match heavy because let's be honest, we're outdoors. It's ghoul season. That's just what happens in the summer with these outdoor shows. You see a bunch of them popping up. You got Tournament of Survival coming soon. Obviously, we're doing our thing. So death matches kind of just breed themselves in the summertime. It's just made for it. So these two, you're not going to quite see blood and guts. You're going to see two guys just beat the shit out of one another. Tony's one of the toughest, best wrestlers in the world. Super underrated. If you can't have a compelling contest with Tony Deppen, then maybe you should rethink your profession. Obviously, Mance, top notch. The guy got it in checks every box. He's a great talker. He's a great fighter. He could do hardcore death match, whatever you need him to do. Old Manser comes to fight, and it should be interesting, man. Tony's got a heavy weekend. I if I had to predict, it's gonna hurt. That's all I can say.
This match reminds me a lot of. I'm trying to remember. I think it was the July 4th show when Kingston wrestled.
Kingston versus Brett Eisen,
Yes.
where they beat each other up. It
Yeah,
was it was
yeah, it was
it
just
was
like a bar fight.
exactly, and that's what we want to highlight. Don't get me wrong, we love the blood and guts, we love death matches, but when these two guys step in, it's gonna be, no chairs, no tables, no tubes, just hands. They're gonna throw hands. They're gonna beat each other up, and you love to see it. So I'm excited, man. I don't know. Tony got his ass kicked on Volume 1 against Killer Cross. He got beat up against Dom Guarini. and now he's back and he's got Mance Warner. I mean, it's not getting any easier.
Here you go, kid.
Exactly. Basically, it's like, hey, have fun because my man does not throw any light blows. He might drink the light beers, but Mance Warner is not light with his hands. So good luck.
Absolutely not. All right, this is the one. If I had to say, is my favorite, which there's a lot of favorites on here, but this is the one that sticks out to me the most.
Okay.
And it's the irony is it's a replacement of what I call the Battle of the Alexes
Sure.
with Alex Ocean, who really you could say made a name for himself last time in one of the most brutal matches I've ever seen, and that's saying something,
Yeah.
against Alex Colon, who, in my opinion, might be the best pound for pound deathmatch guy in the States right now.
Yeah. I agree with everything that you just said. Uh, Cologne rightfully is the best American deathmatch wrestler, and I mean, there are not many who are really challenging him for that spot worldwide. I mean, maybe Masashi Takeda. I mean, Jun Kasai's kind of taken a down tick in his bookings. Obviously, you got people like Kodaka who are also fantastic.
Hmm.
Sakuda's fantastic. But I do think that Alex Colon, bar none, the best in the states, and right up there with Kodaka and fucking Takeda as best. That's top three right there to me. So this match, like you said, it was a replacement. It was supposed to be Ocean against Orin Vite. We were very, very excited for that. And Ocean made a name for himself with, like you said, an extremely brutal fight against Eric Ryan and another star making performance, which is starting to become, well, I won't call it a trend because it was two shows in a row. Once we do three, then I'll call it a trend. But at two, you see Akira rise to the top, become a fresh face in the world of death matches, and now is off into the races. Then the very next week, Akira has a huge match against Matt Tremont, picks up a W, now becoming, at the forefront of death matches as the future of death matches. And then joining him right that day, Alex Ocean puts up a hell of a fight against the king of the death match, Eric Ryan. And I think that Cologne it's a tall, tall order. It's a big difference from Orin Vite. It's I spoke to Alex and he's like, "Holy shit!" That's like, it's a big, big difference, and we'll see how he responds, man, because he was confident going into the fight with Orin. Now it's, are you ready to run with the big dogs? Because Cologne, you see the track record. It doesn't matter who it is. He runs through them. He brutalizes them, and he does it creatively also. So I expect to see a lot of blood, man. It's gonna be something. That's all I can say. It's gonna be crazy.
Cleanup crew better be ready to roll.
Yeah, they really better be, because that's going to be the theme of this whole weekend. Is that the people really working the hardest is going to be the people cleaning up after some of these fights, because it's going to be a lot going on, and maybe not so many things for the next the next match. These two are just going to bludgeon each other. I think Schlack and Jeff King, like, I think they're just going to just like headbutt each other to death. I don't know. They're both absolute animals.
That's a good segue because that was what I was just going to ask you about.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just Schlack is just an unhinged maniac. It's like they, before the show we have him like in a cage, and when his music hits we just like let him out and he just sprints to the ring like a loose gorilla to just destroy whoever. And sadly, it's Jeff King this time around. He's got to get mauled by Schlack. So good luck, Jeff.
I mean, let's ask Casanova how that went this past weekend.
He got in the way of Schlack, and that's just it's not smart, is all. And I mean, John Wayne Murdoch was lucky to get out with a win over Schlack at Volume Two, and then here we are. The big man's back, and he's got an appetite for blood, and sadly, Jeff King is in front of him. So R.I.P. to the old timer, because it's gonna be a rough night.
Yeah, I was going to say, I do not envy you, sir.
Yeah, me either.
Now, last and certainly not least, the main event on
Yep.
Friday night, we got the Duke, John Wayne Murdoch, going one on one with Akira.
Yeah. All right. From your standpoint, as somebody who watches the show and is a fan, what do you think about this main event? Because I've heard a lot of people think that it's too quick to put the kid in the main event. I want to know your thoughts.
I don't think so. The kid had a hell of a match with Matt Tremont, and
Yeah,
Tremont gave him his blessing, basically.
sure.
Uh, I mean, every match the kid has had has been, knock it out of the park, something you can't miss. And I'll be frank with you, I've had more than one person tell me this when they've watched his matches because they haven't really seen him a lot. I've had
Sure.
I've had people tell me he reminds them of a lot of Nick Mondo.
Yeah. That that's kind of a scary comparison. He knows it. He's heard it also. Um, you look at somebody like Nick Mondo and the influence that he had on deathmatch wrestling. He was kind of in and out. I mean, he burned really, really hot and then burned out and disappeared, but he did a lot of insane things. And I will tell you from, you know, personal experience that Akira has a similar brain. It's he wants to do crazy things. He wants to do creative things, and he wants to continue to climb the ladder and beat the best in this world in any world. He thinks that he can jump in there and go toe to toe with somebody like Tony Deppen or Brett Eisen. He thinks he can throw hands with those guys, but then he also wants to have these death matches with John Wayne, who I think is one of the death match elite. He's up there with the best to ever do it. Obviously, you can look at his track record. I mean, besides Volume 1, which he took a brutal loss to Eric Ryan, right after that, it was just hitting him out of the park. At Volume 2, beat Schlack. Volume 3, to beat Jeff King. And then after 25 minutes of a brutal death match, then wrestles another 20 plus against Nick fucking Gage and gets a win over him also. I mean, that's legendary status shit. How many people do you see go 50 plus minutes of deathmatch wrestling? Not
Very
many.
few.
There's a few. And I mean, and those few are named Nick Gage, Matt Tremont, Jun Kasai. Like, we're talking super few. And he was able to do it and pick up 2 wins. And now, next time around, here we are. He's going toe to toe with someone that he knows very well. I mean, people refer to Akira as the third reject when it comes to being a part of that whole crew with Reed Bentley and John Wayne. So his history, what you gotta think, I know the motivation behind Akira is that he wants to climb the ladder by any means necessary. And John's in the way.
He really is, man. It's going to be brutal because I think I'll say since wrestling has come back, as I use air quotes,
Sure.
Murdoch has really upped his game.
Goodness, yeah. He's unbelievable. He can do it all, but he's unassuming. He can have the brawl like you saw with Schlack, or he can have these crazy kind of innovative death matches like he did with Eric Ryan. But he can just bust out a fucking destroyer out of nowhere. Like he's just unbelievable. He's one of the best people, but he just has this part of his brain that he goes to when it's time to fight. And I see him at the beginning of the day when we're setting up and he's happy and smiling. But when it's time for main event time, because that's when John Wayne Murdoch comes out. It's main event time. And it's a different look in his eye. He's ready to go to war. And after two back-to-back crazy 20-plus minute matches at Volume 3, I think fighting Akira at Volume 4 is just a walk in the park for him. We'll see how it goes down, though.
I'm excited for it. I think that's to open the weekend. That's a big fight main event.
Yeah, it is. It is. It tells a story. If you look at the three shows that we've already put together with Volume 1, 2, and 3, John Wayne is the guy. He's beaten them all. And you look at Akira, who, man, he just shot up the ranks in a heartbeat. How many people do you know go from virtually unknown to beating Matt Tremont in the span of 7 days? You know?
I was going to say
So,
there's not very many people that are even on that list.
yeah, exactly. And literally in the span of 1 week did that happen. He went viral, had an amazing match with Reed, which was literally one of the best death matches I've ever seen. And then to parlay that into a semi-main event with Tremont, get a huge W, all while getting stabbed in the chest with a broken light tube and having basically a hole in his chest, and still being able to get that win shows that he refers to himself as a death samurai, and he's got no quit in him, man. He'll just never stop. And I would love to. I can't wait to see these two clash because they're friends. But I know that Akira, in his mind, just will not stop. And it's gonna be interesting. That's all I can really say.
That's right. Now, for those that don't know, I'm sure mostly everybody does. There's going to be on site camping. So if you want to just chill out there after the
Yep,
after party, if you even remember it, um, and you could just kind of hang out there if camping is your thing.
yep. Not for me. Big pass.
Yeah, you're just like me. Nope.
Yeah, big pass. I know some people are excited for it. That's great, man. Do you? They're gonna have a bunch of cool stuff. They're gonna have campfire stories with Larry Legend and Chris Levin. They're gonna have all this fun stuff. And don't get me wrong, I'm not against fun. I'm just not a camping guy. So the show will be over. I'll hang out for a little bit. Uh, give a quick toast to Danny on his birthday. Well, birthday celebration. His birthday is the 5th. So typical Danny thinks he's a draw and wants to make his birthday, something to get people to come to. But come on, man. I know that you're the 57th CZW World Heavyweight Champion,
Good
but
God.
well, let's not get crazy. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun time. There's a lot going on. I mean, this is all stuff that's going down. I mean, we're doing the New Jack Q&A and hosted by Low Life Louis Ramos. That's going down before Volume 5 on Saturday. Who knows what New Jack's going to say? I don't know what New Jack's going to say.
Every
But
like I tweeted, you better be careful. Somebody could get shanked.
yeah, trust me. I interviewed New Jack for the Spotlight series, and I thought that I might get shanked via the internet. Just, just interviewing him. I was like, if I say the wrong thing, he might reach through the fucking computer and stab me somehow, some way. But I guess that he doesn't have that type of reach. But He's going to be there in person doing the damn thing. Just a Q&A. He's not going to be on the show or anything like that, but it's going to be a good time. Something different, you know? You don't really get to experience stuff like that, and to get to meet New Jack and do a signing and hear him answer some questions. It certainly will be unpredictable is the best way for me to describe it.
Have fun with that, Louie.
Yeah, right? Exactly. I was like, we need to get someone to host this. And wouldn't you know, someone not quite as unpredictable as New Jack, but Louis right up there with you never really know what's gonna happen. So should be a good time. That all's gonna go down Saturday at around 3, hopefully. But right before we, kick off the festivities for Volume 5.
I almost forgot. There's also a couple other things going on early that
Yeah.
Saturday morning. Apparently, you can have breakfast with the roster, from what I understand.
Yeah, that's the plan. I mean,
If they're
whether
up,
yeah, right. I mean, some of these guys got some big fights going on the night before. Not to mention that I'm sure they're going to be having a good time after the show. But that's the plan, man. We're doing some breakfast with the fighters. We're gonna have a deathmatch weapons workshop, which is kind of fucking cool. If me, no matter how involved I will get ever in pro wrestling, I'm still a huge fan, and I think that that's a big bonus. Danny's been in wrestling for 20 plus years, and he knows the inner workings of how to book and manage talent and do this and do that. But for me, being a fan in tune with what's going on right now and interviewing all the new talent and all this stuff, I know what is going to be exciting. And the minute he was like, what if we do like a deathmatch weapons workshop? I'm like, absolutely, that's awesome. you know, didn't you always want to know how to build a light tube structure?
well, quick side story about that. This is just mine. What happened with me and a buddy of mine, and then we'll get back to the card on Saturday. It's funny you mentioned this. One time, for fans bring the weapons, me and a buddy of mine, I said, "Hey, I want you to help me build something. Come with me to Home Depot and get this. We'll get this stuff we need." And basically, I was gonna make a God, I'm drawing a blank of the name of the stuff. The Jesus, it'll come to me. But anyway, I'm going through Home Depot, and you see me carrying a giant stick, an empty water jug, a thing of Bondo, and these weapons. It's the gusset plates. I couldn't think of the name. Jesus Christ. I was making a gusset plate water jug.
Ugh, fuck.
So all you do is see me and my buddy holding these items in my hand, going through self checkout at Home Depot, and everybody looking at me like, "What the fuck is wrong with this guy?"
Yeah, what is he? What is that? He's not building a house. He's got gusset plates and holes. What is going on? But yeah, man, it's just something that we're trying to do that's a little bit different, especially when the company is highlighting the deathmatch style of wrestling right now, given that it's summertime, cool season. Why not show a little bit behind the curtain on how some of these crazy weapons get made? I mean, the last show that we did, it was fans bring the weapons, and they really showed out and brought some awesome stuff. And but some people need to realize that there's a line. There's stuff that can be used, and there's stuff that is just downright gonna fucking kill somebody. So it's like so many people want to try and make up the craziest weapons you've ever seen, but it's like, hey, we're not gonna swing a baseball bat that has like steak knives hanging off of it. Like, probably not the smartest bet, but if you can make creative things and do it in a semi-safe way, then yeah, man, I'm excited, man. I'll be there in the front row trying to learn some tips and tricks to build some crazy shit for the next time we have a show.
And why not from two of the best?
Exactly. It's gonna be fucking exciting. These two have been involved in some of the craziest fucking events in deathmatch history, so it's gonna be awesome. And I think they're gonna be streaming that on IWTV. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of this stuff ends up getting streamed on IWTV. You know, why not document a lot of what's going on? But who knows? Maybe that Q&A pops up. Maybe you see this deathmatch workshop pop up on there. The more content, the better.
Hell yeah, I'm excited. Now,
Yep,
let's get into it for Volume 5, Saturday night. Let's start off here. We
go
got
for it.
Tony Deppen with an open challenge, or as he calls it, the Tony Deppen Fight Me Challenge.
Yeah, I mean, this was originally supposed to be Tony Deppen against Eddie Kingston. And big shout out to Eddie getting signed to AEW. I couldn't be happier for anyone else. This man is such a hard worker, one of the best to ever do it, one of my favorites. So the minute that I heard he was signed, I was ecstatic. But part of me already knew that him being signed would mean that this fight wouldn't go down, and that's okay. You know, I would willingly sacrifice this match for Eddie to get signed. We were supposed to have this fight go down at Volume 1. A lot of people don't remember that it was supposed to be Deppen against Eddie at Volume 1 in Jersey City. Eddie's knees were really bothering him and just wasn't going to happen. Ended up transitioning over to Killer Cross, now of NXT, carrying Cross against Tony, who just obliterated him. But we lost Eddie, and we were like, fuck, what are we going to do? And as we spoke of before, we had to shift around a fair amount already. You know, Orin went down. That really fucked us up a bit. The King Nick Gage goes down. Fuck, man, that's a big blow. And then Eddie goes down, and we're like, man, what are we gonna do? Trying to shuffle the card around, and Tony was just like, man, whoever wants to fight me, come and fight me. And we're just like, all right. So basically, whoever shows up and wants to fight Tony Deppen, we're pretty much gonna pick the best of the best. Whoever shows up, who knows who it's gonna be? I'll be completely 100% honest with you. I have no idea who it's gonna be. But if you know anything about ICW No Holds Barred, we like surprises. We like to make people get a little crazy, and you never know who's gonna pop up. So I'm personally super excited to see what happens. And I don't have any predictions, so don't ask me. I have no idea who it is.
I want to say something real quick about Eddie before we move on. Was I couldn't agree more with what you said, and what I tweeted out was he's one of the few last legit tough guys out there
100%, man.
that will legit pop your eyeball out. That's not a work.
No, it is not. He basically said it flat out. What did he tell Arn Anderson? He was like, stop looking at me like that. I'm going to gouge your eye out. And I was like, he might. He really might. And how awesome would that be? But I love the legitimacy that Eddie Kingston brings.
Yep.
He We've watched pro wrestling for so long that we know how this works. We know how the formulas are. We know the give and the take. We know the good and the bad. But something with Eddie Kingston makes me go, I don't know what's going to happen here. And I love that feeling in pro wrestling.
Hell yeah, dude. All right. Now we'll keep it moving. This guy has got a very busy weekend, Struggles. I figure we'll go here with Alex Ocean. After his match with Alex Colon, he gets Eddie Only on Saturday.
And I mean, don't get me wrong. No knock on Eddie Only. He's not quite Alex Colon.
Nope.
You gotta think that Ocean is going to be going into this fight on Saturday not at 100%. And I know Eddie's got Eric in the Taipei death match, but those guys are boys, man. And when I think Taipei Deathmatch, you're gonna get cut up. But when you talk about matches, fights against Alex Colon, you're gonna get brutalized, and it's gonna be rough. And if it's anything close to what Ocean went through against Eric Ryan, he's gonna be in some trouble the next day. And I know that just the personality of Eddie Only can get under your skin, and that's a bit of a mental kind of mind game there. So you're already physically beat up, but then you got somebody kind of jaw jacking, talking shit at you the whole time. I wouldn't be surprised if you see somebody like Eddie kind of sneak out a win here under under the weather, Alex Ocean.
It's going to be a hell of a fight either way because both guys are going to be at less than 100%, in my opinion.
I just think Ocean's going to be a little more far gone because Cologne's a tall order.
Oh, I agree.
It really is.
All right. Next, we have, you had just mentioned him, Eric Ryan, going one
Yep.
on one with Reed Bentley.
And this could steal a weekend here. Two guys who I think are just so innovative, so smart, and just crazy. Like flat out crazy. Like you just look at some of the stuff that they do and you're like, yo, you're crazy. And Reed is in probably the best shape that I've seen him in a long time, and he's motivated, which is kind of scary for somebody who's been around the deathmatch scene for this long. That he's like fired up, and obviously got a big win over Akira at Volume Two. He's looking to keep that momentum rolling. He's seeing his boy John Wayne really racking up the wins, becoming the guy, the main event fixture here at No Holds Barred. I think he wants to get up into that main event spot too. So I think these two can really do something special.
I agree with you. I actually think both, I had said this before about Bentley, but I think the same thing about Ryan. Both are very underrated, in my opinion.
Definitely. I mean, it's good to see Eric Ryan get that big win at King of the Death. So obviously, we're seeing him start to get some of that recognition that he deserves. But Reed, I mean, he is a crazy man, and he is willing to do a lot. And such a smart, calculated person. When it's time to just go, all bets are off. So this is a bit of a sleeper. You know, I said that I thought that Reed versus Dale Patricks was going to be a dark horse of that show. I think that this is like a dark horse of the whole weekend. I think that I wouldn't be shocked if some people start listing off the real things that they remember. Because don't get me wrong, cool moves and spots are awesome, but I think that the moments that are going to be created this weekend, I think definitely Eric Ryan and Reed Bentley are going to be spoken of once it's all said and done.
I agree with you. All right. Next, we have, and talk about a chore of a weekend, Akira going one on one with a different boy, Jimmy Lloyd.
Yeah, this was it was supposed to be Oren Vite. Obviously not going to happen with the injury. We spoke on it. And a lot of people are kind of upset because Jimmy stepped in. Meanwhile, Jimmy was the person that hurt Oren at IWA. And anybody who's upset with Jimmy, you must not know Jimmy. He's one of the nicest, kindest people that I've ever had the pleasure of being around. He loves pro wrestling. He loves deathmatch wrestling. He's not out there to intentionally, really hurt someone badly. But shit happens, and that's what you got to chalk it up to the game. It's death matches. Shit happens.
It ain't ballet.
No, it is certainly not. So shit happens, and guess what? Um, we want to highlight the younger group of deathmatch wrestling. You know, we talk about the future of death. You look at Akira and Alex Ocean. Well, Jimmy Lloyd, he's been at it a little bit longer. He's had some pretty high profile matches, but he's still a young man in the game. And this is definitely going to highlight a different style because these two can do a lot that everybody else can't do. You know, we've seen Jimmy jump from high places. Same thing with Akira. They have that kind of hybrid style where you can see a lot of strikes, you can see a lot of uh, catch wrestling and suplexes, but also it's going to be deathmatch fuckery innovation. And I have high hopes. People think this could steal the weekend, but I just think it's going to be so much different than everything else we see.
I was going to say that I think it's going to be something way outside of the box that what we think
Yep,
it's going to be.
yep, definitely. I can't wait. Different boy against the NHB Golden Boy. So we'll see how that all plays out, man. It's going to be awesome.
These last three, as I go through them, I'm kind of, I guess you would say, giggling or very excited for each one of them.
Yeah, they're a little wild. The poster that we're looking at, gathering all this information, I was the one who put together, and I was smiling from ear to ear, typing out these matches. So just know these last three, man. If I could do three main events, I would, but this is something else. Go ahead, break them down.
Yeah, here we. I'm just going to go straight from the bottom. In a circus death match, we got Jeff King against Old Manser.
And two old timers right here. You got Jeff King, such a vintage style, and then Mansa, obviously old Mansa baby. And the circus death match, I have no idea what that
I was
means.
just going to ask you, what is that?
We are gonna find out. Like the only time I can remember like a circus death matches, I think it was something with like J.C. Bailey from IWA back in the day. So I'm sure they're gonna figure it out. I know that the powers that be in the fuckery department that No Holds Barred are gonna be cooking up some stuff. They don't tell me anything when it comes to the fuckery because I just say no to everything. So I'll be like, no, that's too dangerous. No, 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 that's not gonna work. No, we can't do that.
They say,
So they
okay,
don't.
let's go see Danny.
Yeah, exactly. Danny is the fun one, and his creativity just flows when it comes to just deathmatch fuckery. So I have no idea what's gonna happen here, but I guarantee you, they're gonna bleed a lot, and Mance Warner is gonna be in a different kind of fight on Volume 5 than he was against Tony Deppen the night before. Different type of fight here. Circus death match. Use your imagination. Who knows what's going to happen?
the
But that's how we like it.
Yeah, the only one that I can remember or think that was even close was there was one in Japan where they had the spider web barbed wire all the way around the ring, and it was when they fell on it like it was almost like a trampoline.
I hope we don't do that. I'm sure people hope we do something like that, but I hope personally we don't do something like that.
I don't
But
know.
it's
That's just I think I remembered that.
yeah, I think it was at because I know Kasai does a carnival theme show,
Yeah,
so it
yeah,
might be
yeah.
something like that. And yeah, terrifying. That's all I can say. Terrifying.
All right, well we'll keep it going. Next is, and this is one I'm very excited for. Not that the others aren't, but this one I kind of
I know,
circled is the Funhouse death match with Alex Colon and Pagano.
dude. You have no idea how excited I am to get Pagano here. He's just one of my favorites. Such a different type of presence and just unique unto himself. He does so much crazy stuff, and we're having a circus, and we're not gonna bring in Pagano. I mean, as he says, it's not a party without the clown. And man, I'm excited, but Cologne, that's I don't know if he understands what he's in for, man.
It's gonna be a long day.
Yeah, because like, don't get me wrong, I know that we're bringing in Pagano, and he's gonna do, sign a bunch of things and take a lot of pictures, and he thinks it's going to be all fun and games. But the thing about Alex Colon is he doesn't do fun and games, like Funhouse. He's gonna make that really unfun for you, Pagano. And man, I would probably say it's the match that I am most excited for that this weekend coming up.
Dude, and correct me if I'm wrong, Pagano hasn't been on the East Coast very much.
Um, I know that we had him. We were supposed to have him at Volume 2 in March, which obviously got canceled. He was supposed to fight Nick Gage,
Yes.
which imagine that.
Ooh.
Hopefully, once Nick gets healed up and back, we'll be able to make that one go down. But I can't think of a time that Pagano's been at least even in a death match on the East Coast. So it's definitely a rarity. It's something that if you're a fan of Lucha Extrema, if you watch Zona on IWTV or anything like that, it's definitely a rare appearance to see Pagano. And I mean, look at the caliber of opponent that he has. This has like, death match of the year written all over it if they do what they're capable
Oh, I couldn't agree more. Now,
of. Yeah.
last and certainly not least, uh, how could you not forget this is to close the weekend, Schlack and No Rope Barbed Wire versus the legend himself, Homicide.
Oof. I mean, this has, main event written all over it. I mean, it would main event go on last any place in the world. But I honestly think that logistically, that this might go on early. We want to be able to have the ring set up with the barbed wire and everything, and keep it. You got to pacing in the world of professional wrestling is everything, you know. And I want to just make sure that this show flows nicely. And if you paid attention to what we do at No Holds Barred, Volume 1, the opener, Tessa Blanchard against Nick Gage, that opened the show. Volume 2, what did we open the show with? Nick Gage again against Casanova Valentine. And it's just like, we are known to start hot. So I would suggest anyone in the world, if you are attending or watching, you don't want to miss the beginnings of No Holds Barred, any volume, because anything can certainly happen. You never know when the match that you're looking forward to the most might happen. We might kick off this whole weekend with something crazy. We might kick off Volume 2 with Cologne versus Pagano. I don't know, but we're known to start hot. So when it's bell time, make sure your eyes are on that ring because it's going to get crazy. And I can't wait for these two to just do what they do. Fight to the fucking death,
I was about to
man.
say
No,
just beat the fuck out of each other.
yeah, that's what it's going to be. And you look at Schlack is kind of this new age tough guy. He's been around for a couple years now, but Homicide, come on, you said it, legend. 25 years in, one of the baddest motherfuckers to ever step in the ring, the king of New York, and you think he's gonna go down? No, he's not gonna go down without a fucking fight. You saw what he did to Casanova Valentine. Absolutely obliterated him. I can't remember the last time I saw Homicide that vicious, that brutal. And I think that something about this atmosphere snaps his brain back to a different time. Back in the day where he was just an absolute vicious, just beast, and he would tear everybody apart. People were afraid of him, and I think he's reminding people right now you should still be afraid of Homicide.
Hell yeah, dude! I'm very excited for that. But real quick, you brought up another very good point about pacing a wrestling show. That's a lost art, in my opinion.
Sure. Yeah, I mean everybody wants to pad the back end with all the best stuff, or what you would think would be the best stuff. Everybody wants a triple main event. Everybody wants this and that. But I think that you're doing a disservice to the paying fan base who are there to watch because you're going to burn them out. You're going
That's
to
what
lose their.
I was just going to say that, not to cut you off.
Yeah, no, but, well, I mean, we've been to enough shows that we've all experienced it. We've been to tremendous shows that we thought was awesome. But you get that feeling sometimes of where you're just fucking tired. And this is going to be a long weekend. And, we got to pace it properly. We got to keep the energy up. We got to make sure that the moments hit at the right time, that we can keep that kind of emotional roller coaster rolling the whole weekend. And I think we got it figured out. I think the formula that we've been putting forth has really been working for us. We're not doing 4-hour shows. We're trying to keep them tight, and we're trying to keep the. I look at it like an old school horror movie. You can kind of watch those old movies and like count in your head, like, hey, every like 5 to 7 minutes, something happens. Somebody gets stabbed or somebody gets fucking murdered, and there's blood somewhere, or it's a suspenseful moment or something meaningful that always happens to keep your attention. And that's the way that I want and we want things to get paced out, where the moments hit at the right times to keep your momentum going so that we never lose you. And that's what it's all about, man. It's not easy, but it's worth it.
No, absolutely. Now, if people want to get tickets, how can they do that? Struggles.
Yeah.
Are there still any left?
Yeah, we got a couple GAs left. Basically, all the ringside seating, we're trying to keep it socially distanced. We're going to keep everybody spread out so there aren't too many chair options. So those sold out pretty quickly. But when it comes to GA, we have a few left, which is standing room only, but you can also bring your own chair. So if you grab a couple GAs, you and your boys can come pull up with a chair, space yourself out, and you get to watch a pretty awesome set of shows. And you can get those tickets at thewrestlinguniverse.com. Also, for anything ICW No Holds Barred, everything's on social media. So you can follow them at ICW NHB. That's on Instagram and on Twitter. And if you're looking for any sort of merchandise or anything, we have t-shirts, posters, hats, autographs, crazy memorabilia, stuff like that. You can go over to ICWNoholdsBarred.com and check out the merchandise. And if you can't be there this weekend, IWTV.live, promo code ICWNHB, you get 5 days for free. So that means if you go and subscribe right now, you get to watch both shows for free and even have the time to catch up on volume 1, 2, and 3 beforehand. Sounds like a good fucking deal to me.
Absolutely. That's I signed up already, and that's what I'm doing for this weekend.
Well, you know where I'll be this weekend. I got a lot of.
I'll be listening to you to see if you can keep your voice.
Well, if I'm struggling and if I'm fucking up or if I sound tired, shoot me a message and let me know. Because last time, I'll be completely honest, I'm not one of those people who think overly highly of themselves. I know that I'm new to this. I think I've only done 10 full shows in commentary. That's it. I'm new, but it does help that I'm able to speak well, and I've done the podcast for almost 200 episodes. It really helps me with being able to project and talk and keep my thoughts going. But if I'm struggling, let me know. Somebody tweeted at me, "Hey, the commentary guys sound bored after the first match." Well, you better fucking believe that I lit a fire under my ass and made sure I did not sound bored and stood my ass up and got locked in. So I need it sometimes. So please, if I'm fucking up, tell me. And I'm ready to go, man. I take criticism like a fucking champion, and I'm going to turn it around. So if anybody out there listening, if I'm fucking up, let me know. At the Struggles 23 on Twitter, at the Struggles on Instagram. Let me know what you guys think of the show this weekend. I'm excited. I'm fucking nervous and stressed, but it's gonna be a good time.
I'm going to tell you something, everybody. There's not very many people out there in this world that would take constructive criticism like a champ like that.
Yeah, you got to. How else am I gonna get better? That's all I can say. Like, I know I'm not the best in the world. I know I'm not, Tony Schiavone or Bobby the Brain Heenan. I know I'm not there yet, but I want to work and I want to get better, but it takes time. Nobody became the best ever overnight. And I'm going to keep working hard, and luckily I have a place to do it at ICW No Holds Barred. I'm a part of a team that believes in me and I believe in them, and all I can say is that I'm excited for what the future holds for me and for ICW No Holds Barred. I appreciate you for giving me the time and the company the time to go over everything that we're having, at Deathmatch Circus. I'm so excited.
Of course, man, and couldn't have done it at a better time. What do we got? About 48 hours to go?
Oh man! Now here's where I start stressing out since you said that. Yeah, I look at the phone right now. We're basically 48 hours away from bell time, and that means I still got a lot of work to do. So when it comes to graphics and prepping everything that needs to go on, making sure that the merch is situated, everything like that, I got some work to do, and I hope that you enjoy the shows this weekend. And please let me know what you think because, like I said, I love the criticism. I need to know how we can get better and how I can get better. So I appreciate you.
Absolutely, man. Now, on that note, we're going to get out of here. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, give it a thumbs up, all that good stuff, and we'll see you back next time. Have a good day, everybody.